Hey y'all, what's up? Happy Sunday, happy Sunday. How you all doing? What's up? Thank you, Toy Toy. What's up? How you been? You've been missing for a while. Yes, thank you for the like button. Yes, if you come in, please hit that like button and help the algorithm and help YouTube let my videos get notified more and help build this channel up. Give you the fire, give you this content and so like that. How y'all doing this Sunday? In New York it's all freaking cold. We had a little mini snowstorm last night. It's, there's a lot going on in New York, but it's okay. I'm a little heated on going on, and I'm ready to give you this content. Today, as y'all know, if y'all saw the thumbnail, we all talk about Janet Jackson today. It's all about her documentary that we saw the past 2 days. And thank you everyone who was on my Discord. If you're not on my Discord, check my description box down below and hit the like button. You do have to create a profile to be on Discord, and it's really good. We do a lot of voice chatting. We text each other and stuff on chatting on a text thread. We do video chat sometimes, and we do watch-alongs on there, and it's all not restricted. So it's not like Instagram or Twitter. Anybody follow suit. It's my own server, and that's how you build community. So if you're not on my Discord, click that button. Yes. Hey, CM, how you doing? At the same time, Twitter, welcome y'all. If y'all enjoy my content, go to my YouTube and click on Mizzle 14 and subscribe. And also check my other social media. We have Instagram, Mr. Grown. I chat and I promote on there as well. And subscribe to my channel if you haven't subscribed. Welcome to the Mizzle family. And like, comment, and subscribe and share my videos as well. Thank you all for supporting me. I just pulled a community page of a thank you of hitting the 1,200 mark milestone. It's always getting better. So I appreciate all of y'all who has been joining my journey so far and keeping me grounded and keeping me pushing me forward. Because without your support, I wouldn't be here. All right, so hey, let's get ready, y'all. Hey. Yes. So how y'all doing today? Welcome. I hope y'all all watched the documentary. I know this past 2 days, last night, I was on Discord and most of us watched parts 2, 3, and 4 together and part 1 earlier that Saturday. So people who watched it with me was able to watch it and catch the documentary. It was good. I wish you would give us more because it's so much about her life that it could have been showcased, especially behind her music and stuff. But I'm glad that she gave us the 2-night 4 parts videos that she gave us and give us an insight on her life. Cause she always been a private person. So it was finally get to see her side of things and her truth behind what's going on. So what we're gonna do is that we're gonna go in order of the documentary. So just try not to jump ahead of different points and this go by little by point. And I was taking notes, so y'all know I'm ready for it. But before we get to Janet Jackson, let's start our show's update. And growing up, Janet has always been my favorite. One of my favorite artists growing up. So I know I have to talk about her. All right, ladies who listen, Atlanta is on Fridays, and yes, we got the clarification of the contract deal between Kiana and Robin. And I said, at the end of the day, it just all a bunch of bull. None of y'all again hit each other up for clarification. I was like, that could have been a it was a misunderstanding. And yes, so I love Janet. And it was a misunderstanding between both parties and everything. And more so Kiana, because if she heard of price and they asked for was it per contract or was it flat fee? Robin said it was flat, 500 flat for 26 contract, but Kiana thought it was 500 per. I said either way, it still was a price. So if you didn't want to pay it, to me, it just feel like you just wanted it for free, no matter what. And no, that's not how business goes. But whatever those two. And Crystal still glad Crystal Robin's not really friends now anymore because at the end of the day, we as our viewers know this that they was not really good friends. So they put a trade off with this best friends. And once soon as we saw the show, their friendships crumbled. That's crazy. Catfish all news episodes, season 8 on MTV on Wednesday. So if y'all been on my channel, y'all know I'm reviewing it and I haven't uploaded religiously. So let's catch up on that. Kings and Capitals on Tuesdays on OWN. It's really good. Hey, JW. All right, getting off of work. Hey, I'm glad you could be able to join us live after work. It's on OWN, so Tuesday to catch it. I also do watch alongs in that episode as well on my Discord, just randomly, probably like on a Wednesday afternoon before I go to work and stuff like that. Or late Tuesday night if they put it up the episode. RuPaul Drag Race season 14 on Fridays on VH1. And this last episode, people didn't like it. People didn't like the decision was made. People was upset. So I gotta watch and see what's happened because they sent the one girl home. And usually that's like that. We feel like some people get robbed. And what can you do? Right? Love and Hip Hop Family Reunion. Season 2 was on Mondays. Married at First Sight, Boston is on Wednesday was Lifetime. And I'm just now starting to watch it again. It's like, because I didn't watch the weather special, so I'm catching the Honeymoon Beyond. And I talked about some of the people. A list got to get up my screen. And we will see what happened this Wednesday. Queen season 1 is on ABC on Tuesdays on break, so it'll come back on February 8th. Ready to Love Potomac is on season 6 on Fridays on OWN. And yesterday I showed the episode of Ready to Love. Yeah, Ready to Love Potomac. And it was good. I enjoyed the laid back and the refreshness of the show. It kind of reminds you of how the first 2 seasons was. And it gave you that laid back atmosphere. And I like the pace. It wasn't ratchet like this last season. Some people I was liking so far, that Clifton. Here we go. Everybody starting already. Clifton, because he's a big guy, tall, muscular. Oh, muscular or teddy bear-ish, whatever those two is. It seems like he got muscles. And he got that deep Barry White kind of voice. I said, oh, snap. And he kind of like a calm. So I was like, all right, Clifton. All the ladies was falling for Clifton. A lot of ladies were falling for Demetrius too. That chocolateness that we always talking about. And him. Those are the top 2 men of the show. And I also like Tori. Tori with the locks. He was nice too. Now on the ladies' side, I do like the Kia. I do like Sabrina. I do like Joy. Those are my top ladies as well. And Paul is a freaking cornball. He's 48 years old, trying to be late to love, being rude as hell and judgmental. And he just a cornball. Oh, I'm Paul, aka PO. And so what PO stand for? Post Office License Delivered. I said, what kind of corny line is that? You better get out my face. You better be 50 years old, act like you freaking 25 or 22 years old, got pickup lines. Ew. That was dumb. So, but they kept him and let go Fernando. That's something. They always got to keep the cornball on the thing to last couple seasons, last couple episodes, and they gonna eliminate him. I said that's kind of defeat the purpose. If he's whack, none of the ladies like him. Why keep him? Candy in the Game premieres March 6th on Bravo TV. I mean, we all have this love-hate relationship with Bravo. So just because it's Candy, I will support her show. Sisters shows I may not watch. So Sisters season 4 on BET on Wednesdays. Love Doing Lockup is on WeTV on Fridays. Catfish UK is on MTV Wednesdays. K. Michelle, My Killer Body premieres February 3rd on Lifetime on Thursday. They did show a special premiere episode this past Friday. And I'm still up in the air about watching it because people are saying that it is good, but it's graphic. So it's going to show you things. And I don't know, I'm ready to see all that. Not because I don't want to hear the stories. I don't know if I'm ready to see all that. Grown Up Hip Hop season 6 is on WeTV on Thursdays. Let's see what else. Real Housewives of Miami is on Peacock. New episode Thursdays, and they show the reunion look. So we will review the reunion looks next week on Mr. Social Corner. If y'all have any topics for next week, y'all could always hit me on Instagram or Twitter or Discord, and I could gather some key topics and we can talk about it next week. Set in Tampa, season 1 Netflix. Harlem is on Amazon Prime. Oh, what's going on here? Power Book 4. Force season 1 premieres February 6th. So next Sunday is the new Power book, and it's featuring Tommy. So we will be watching it. And tonight will be a watch along of, I guess, the season 2 finale of Ghost Book 2, and we'll watch that tonight on Discord. P-Valley, I don't even know P-Valley is coming in this season, this year. I mean, they said premiere 2022. Where are these people coming from? Like, I don't understand. They said 2022, but with this little Lumen freaking case going on with Nikki Gilbert suing them about using some of her content in a P-Valley show, I don't know what's going on, but we'll see. And Johnson Cabaret is on Las Vegas Zeus Network on Sundays, and we will do watch along tonight on Discord of that episode. And then on tomorrow, we'll be on Timo's channel doing a review. This past Monday was on my channel, and I appreciate all of y'all who came in because it was great. Yes, it's wet. Yes, sure. I never thirsty because I stay wet. I like Miss Wet. I know everybody like her. Everybody thinks she's annoying. And yeah, she's annoying, but I do like her. She's funny on PV. I hope it comes back this year as well. I hope it comes back this year. They got to give us a date, but it's prolonged because now we got this Lumen case going on. I just don't know how. So that's why I put a question mark because it's supposed to be coming back this year. All You Serious segments, thank you for everyone who's been watching my All You Serious segments. It's become really good. So far, it's really becoming really good. It's very short topics I talk about, and it's usually no more past the 15 minutes, usually 10 to 15 minutes, or probably less than 10 minutes, depends how the topic is. And give y'all feedback and opinion, and we talk about it. Discord, if you're not on my Discord, hit that description box, and my Discord link is there. Click on it, and you can go on straight to my server. And next Sunday is Mr. Social Corner, and it's going to be various topics. So anything that's coming out here, I do have one topic we'll talk about, and that's next week. So any other topics y'all want me to talk, let me know. All right. So anything on one of these shows coming up? No. All right. Since we have a lot to talk about, so let's go straight into it. We don't want to waste anybody's time, because as I'm talking, I'm also going to read your comments and y'all commentary about what was shown on the documentary. All right, let's get into 15. All right, so Janet Jackson's documentary premieres on Lifetime and A&E. It was 2-night event. On Friday the 28th, she showed parts 1 and 2. That's mainly her early years of growing up as in part of the Jackson family and their childhood and rises to the fame, her first marriage, and I did also take a second marriage as well. And the Control album, all that stuff. That was the first 2 parts, and also the Rhythm Nation era as well. And then the last 2 parts was on Saturday, and that was mainly of after Rhythm Nation into the Super Bowl incident, into the Scream collaboration, into the whole scandal about Michael and all that stuff, and into her late years and being abducted and what's her future plans? I mean, having a kid and being a mom and stuff like that. So we go progress to each part. So that's what's like. Let's go in order. Try not to jump ahead, and let's talk about it. But I always, after you, he's the reason that I say it's a thing. Yeah, still standing strong on F Jermaine Free. He's the reason I laugh. It's a thing. Yeah, for him to even do what he did, child, we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that. Because I still kind of shocked they even got together, but and she was loving that guy. But oh well. I always had admired Janet Jackson, like growing up, and it was a crazy fact that we get to that point, but her Control album was the album that made her start to rise to fame. Was in the year I was born, so I was like, oh wow! And 10 days before I was born in February, I was like, wow. So it was kinship to me to love her. Love me some Janet Jackson. If you're nasty, yes. And I refuse to call her by that slur. What slur? Oh, Miss Jackson, if you're nasty? That's a famous line. All right, let's get going, y'all. So it started off saying that in 2017, she started working on this documentary, and it took like, oh, the lot of go. Oh, okay, okay. Oh, that girl. I don't know about that. So 2017, she started working on this documentary, and it had been like working in the works for 5 years. So she decided to give us her commentary, her viewpoint, because she always been a private person. It's kind of like I am. I'm a private person. But yeah, if you get to know me, everything I do shares. Uh, okay. Okay. Wait, somebody text me. Yes, and we will get to that. It's because the name. That's the only way they went hard on her like that. Because the attachment of the Jackson name. And because the shadow of Michael. Yeah, and I ain't like that. That was crazy because she was her own individual person. But she can never escape the shadow of him. But she made her mark. It's like that. So for 5 years, she'll be working on a documentary. And it was great. And also parts of some of the documentary was video clips of when she was with Renee that had never been released until now. So I said, okay, all right, we get to see some stuff. So we started off her driving down Gary, Indiana. That was her childhood that she grew up in, the state of Indiana. She grew up in that area. And she drive it down and said, why now? Why on speaker? And she said, I guess just finding time to give people my insight and stuff like that. And I guess, hey, why not? I made my mark. I made history. Am still history. And I influenced the culture. So why not get my inputs now? I'm fine. I'm settled down, raising my child. So why not? And while she was driving down, she saw a mural of her brothers. And you know what? They taking that mule down. I don't know they did it already or they are gonna take it down. I said, why? They gonna crumple that down. I wish they was patting that. Whoever that artist who did that did an amazing job. And while she watching the mural, it made her cry. It definitely made her cry. And I said, I understand. Cause I was like, wow, it's the memory, and it was so beautiful mural. And this is the first time she even seen the mural when she was driving down. And she even been back to her childhood state since she was 8 years old. So after she started left Indiana, she haven't been back since then. So now she just came back and watching and saw it and everything. And I said, wow. And I saw on Twitter that they all taking that mural down. I said, oh, they couldn't save it, do something with it. It was like, they go to demolish it. That's messed up. They should give that artist some money or something like for that. And that was a beautiful mural. It was beautiful. All right. So, hey Jay Rudolph, hey you. How you doing, boo? So next she met up with Randy. So we find out that Michael, Randy, and Janet was always close because they was the three youngest. And they always been close. They had a good relationship. So Janet met Randy, they had a little banter, a little bit back and forth. And so what's going on? And they went to that childhood home they grew up in. And it was crazy that the home they grew up in was only a 2-bedroom household with a kitchen and they had a living room and stuff like that. And it was 9 of them with 2 parents in 2-bedroom household. That what Gary is known for, the Jackson. I don't know why. Yes. Hey Dominique Boo, how you doing? I don't know why, because that was the Gary is known for, the Jackson. That's what I'm saying. I don't know why they're taking it down. But they are. Right? So it was a 2-bedroom household for 9 children. And what was told to me, because Jenny don't remember much because she was a baby and everything. So Latoya, Phoebe, and Janet slept in the living room while the boys slept in the one in the bedrooms because it was 6 of them. And all I know that Randy, Michael, and somebody else was together in the middle bunk bed. And I guess the oldest was in one and the other was on one. And that's that. And I said, oh, that's cramped up in that household. But I was like, but sometimes back in the day, sometimes when you don't have much house and much room and you got a lot of kids, you got to make it work. Especially if you have, I know most of us in the community who in the programs who got Section 8 and everything, they got a certain house and they could get it. And that's the room they had to stay in for a while now until they were able to get something bigger. Probably Marlin. Yeah, it's probably Marlin. Some of the minor details, I ain't get everything. But yeah, they all slept together. I said, oh, 3 in 1 bunk bed? And it had a 3-tier bunk bed. I said, 3-tier? I remember my brother and I was slept in bunk beds. And I was he was in the top and I was in the bottom and all stuff. So, but then, I didn't see bunk beds for a long time. Sure. So it wasn't much space for them that go on. And that's it. They kids, being kids, doing what they do in that cramped household. But they always try to make it normal. They never deem themselves being poor as other people because they say they had other people who's less fortunate than them. But at the same time, they feel like cramped up in one household, that's enough. But they never deem themselves as really too poor. And they just made ends meet. They make it work. So how it started the Jackson 5 and the Jackson Lines of Fame and everything. It takes to Tito. So Tito was playing with Joe Jackson, the father, guitar. He was playing with it, and all stuff like that until I guess he kind of broke a little bit the string. One of the strings came off and everything. And so, they was like, oh my God, father gonna come home, he gonna be mad. So he came home and they noticed that he's really good with it because he has been playing the musician, when the Jackson 5, he's always the one playing the guitar. And they said, play. And he played the thing for the father, even though they was kind of nervous that he was going to get in trouble because he kind of broke the strings to the guitar. And that started. Right then and there. It took Tito to break his father's guitar, work his father's guitar, for him to push them to what they are now, to Jackson 5 and bigger names, the Jackson name, to rise to history. And hey, y'all. to watch the history. I said, dang, it takes Tina to do that. So he started off this history of the Jackson. And then Joe said, oh, okay, you got talent. And then he started hearing his other children talents is they have vocals because I think Catherine said, oh, they can sing, yeah, they got some voices, all that stuff like that. So it was like, oh, sing. He said, yeah, gonna be doing. So now what they started doing instead of having a normal childhood, they was mainly rehearsing and practicing till enough it was getting their neighbors' nerves because the neighbors said, oh, what that loud music, stop. You know, the neighbors, why are you playing so much loud music? Why are you rehearsing? Shut up, be quiet. And you know, and Joe didn't give a damn. He said, oh, my kids gonna be something. And that's how it was. They kept rehearsing, and they got their mom. And to the point, and he wanted to show the world. He said, nah, your talent's gotta be shown. Your talent's gotta be shown. And later on, in 1968, they auditioned for Motown. And they auditioned for Barry Gordy. And from there, he heard their talent. He said, you know what? Your first three singles or your first three songs you put out, I'm going to make it a hit. And one day show us, one of them was ABC. You know, easy at 1, 2, 3, and all that stuff. And that's how they started the Jackson 5. And I was like, that's great. That's great. And because of that, that name made a blueprint for the history as of today. It still shows. And it takes Joe to be the strict father to discipline them, to make them rehearse, even though they may feel their childhood was not normal as other children. And we get to the point because that's what Janet was mentioning. But at the same time, they do appreciate Joe pushing them because if it wasn't for him, we will never have that blueprint history of the Jackson name. So you got to give kudos to somewhere, even though he was kind of strict father. So, and Catherine was mainly making the outfits, stitching the outfits. I said, all right, she had the talent to make the outfits, and he was a manager. So, yeah, like I said, he was strict, but he was a catalyst in starting their success. So he did that because he didn't want his kids to be in the streets. So he said, listen, y'all got the talent, y'all music, everything. If all y'all be in the streets and doing whatever thing that normal children doing and getting along with the wrong crowd and peers and growing up as the stereotypes, y'all gonna be someone, be somebody. Y'all may hate me, everything, but y'all not being victims in the streets. And that what it was. So Janet said when she was growing up, she didn't get to experience her father the way how she was to experience her father. Because as she was growing up, she got grown up into when their brothers started becoming successful, and her father was already the manager of the brothers. So when she got growing up, she didn't get that. So it was all father in a manager mode. That much of a father who a normal father do. It's like that. So she didn't get that experience from Joe. But she always been grateful for it too. Even though he was the way he was, she always been grateful for if it wasn't for him pushing and being what he was, she would never been this big icon as she is now. But so because of the success of the Jackson 5, you know, the ABC and all the other stuff, Rock and Robin, all the touch that we got from them, they moved to LA, 1971. And you know, probably in that time, it was mainly, you know, racism was still going on, segregation, all that, a lot of stuff was going on. I mean, it's starting to change, but still, it was in that prime era time. You know, different record labels, and you know, whites and the blacks, and they can't really mix, and it was starting to get to the point of mixing, and you know, but it was still heavy on shunning us, and we had to break out to the mainstream. So 1971, when that era, you know, Motown and songs and artists coming out and starting changing the aspect of music and the culture that we are living in now. So 1971, they moved to LA. I said, well, y'all making big. And they went in a predominantly white neighborhood. And at that time, they didn't really want that black family there because it was like, listen, who is this black person? Like, y'all just coming in to try to take over our neighborhood. And it was no take over. It's just that y'all just ain't like that. This family is well to do to be in the neighborhood y'all in. So what they do, I find it very interesting at that party is was mentioned that they always have parties. They always mention have parties and everything, and how one guy named Bowie, he was around like he was a white guy who was into the drug stuff, and he had to find a space, and he was doing drugs, and then he offered two of them drugs. I think Randy and Michael, something like that, drugs, and they said no, we no. And I said I'm glad that these kids are smart enough to not get involved in that because that kind of just messed them up if they was involved in doing that stuff. But I said, who is this grown ass guy coming in their house, whatever, doing the parties and going around, going to places and trying to offer kids for freaking drugs? I said, what? We ain't doing that. You know, that Booger Sugar, all that stuff on back in the day. It was very heavy in the industry. Very heavy. Back then, especially. Wow. That went through that. They was going to school. And this was Janet mentioned that how there was a lot of racism in the school. So she didn't really have a lot of friends. She had few of them, but not as much. And to the point that someone was like, oh my gosh, this is real, like touching the skin. It seemed that it could come off and everything, touching the hair, because they don't recognize that the texture of the hair is different and all that stuff. So I was like, oh, touching my hair, touching my skin, see if my skin could come off because they couldn't fathom that, wow, these people living in our neighborhood looking the way they are. I said, oh, child. Yeah. Hey, y'all, don't forget, as I'm talking, y'all can just make your comments. I'll read it. So, from there, so they basically didn't want them there. You know, that's the whole point to it. I want to know her relationship with the Richard sisters. Yeah. I don't think she really go into deep about that either. Was a Richard sisters. This is my enlighten me because you know I might not know everything. So some people probably could tell us anything about them. But 1974, they started going to Las Vegas, Nevada. And this was Janet was 7 years old at the time. And they was doing the shows, a lot of various shows and everything. And so that's around the time she was starting doing acting. But she was never asked by her father to even do it. I guess it was just put her into it. And that's where she started getting her role in Good Times. You know, Good Times is one of the iconic shows that I used to watch and love. I was still young. From Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, Kim and Cat Richards, Kathy. Oh, okay. Oh, I don't know. I don't know if she does have a relationship with them. That'd be surprising. But this was she started role in Penny. You know, Penny was abused child and them thing. Very iconic, definitely iconic. And you know, she was abused child, and that was her role and everything. And she played her role real well. You know, Penny in the Good Times, really well. And at the same time, she was also in the variety show. You know, the Jackson Five, and her was performing a lot. And you know, Randy and her first did her performance and everything. And the beat goes on, and everything. And they said after the first show, you ain't gonna be nervous and everything. And she said after that first show, she was never nervous. So you could tell the star was born because she was great on the stage. Hey, Auntie Mama, how you doing, boo? Yes. She was great on the stage. I experienced that when I went to Russia. They have closed borders and they don't see black people in person. So people will stop us in the street, actually take pictures. Yes. See? Mm-hmm. Yep, and even though until this day, some people might still. I know it's getting better, but some people still not may experience us as well we need to. So they still might question us and everything what's going on. So it's a long battle. Nobody like the Jacksons. That's what I'm saying. They name one's heavy. in the streets, in this culture, in black culture as that. In pop culture. Every culture, that was a blueprint for a lot of things, artists these days and stuff. Sorry, y'all. Oh my god. So Janet started getting her thing. I wanted to marry Michael Jackson so damn bad. Oh snap! Listen, he was something back in the days. Yeah, yes. He was something back in the days. Michael was a cute guy and everything. And I just feel like people just kind of just wanted to destroy him so bad. Destroy him so bad. So one day, Janet did a record contracts on the A&M. And this is at the time that she was under her father's management. The brothers fired their father. He was mine. Don't be fighting over him, y'all. Chill. Sure. Like Jamie Rudolph is just sad. Like, don't be fighting over him because Michael was something back in the days. It's okay. As long as you support. You keep watching, replaying everything. It always gonna be here, y'all. And so this was the Jackson 5, the brothers, they fired their father, so he gave his own focus to Janet. So it was all Janet and everything. And at that time, she didn't really want to become an artist. I know that was her blueprint and that was her focus and everything, and she enjoyed it. She very much enjoyed it. But at the same time, she wanted to do normal kids things like going to college and have fun and like break the rules sometimes. I have boyfriends and all that stuff. Little teenage girls will do, having friends and everything. I stopped drinking Pepsi for a minute when I heard how it happened. Microphone, rock with you, still my man. Yeah, walk with you all night. And I wish YouTube was not playing game because we could be playing some music, but we could do that in Discord and everything. I stopped drinking Pepsi for a minute. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Sure. You can't tell Michael nothing when he had that nice chocolate skin. I mean, yes, he had the season and what happened to the Pepsi thing, but he was a fine looking man. And he had the voice of the lead singer and everything too. So, he had all the ladies. Sure. So he became a manager and she wanted to go to business law. And I said, oh, all right, you want to be a lawyer, Janet? And I said, look at the Janet voice now. It's like, you how you picture Janet being a lawyer and everything? That's soft-spoken Janet. I was like, oh, I can't picture Janet being a lawyer and everything. But hey, whatever she wanted to do, what she do, she could still went to school. But I don't think she ever did. But I could know she could have still went to school if she wanted to go to school. But after she let her father go and do what she wanted to do, but she didn't. So her father became her manager. He took control and made decisions that she wanted to take in charge of her life. She did. The first two albums, and forget, I always thought Control was always her first album. I mean, as I can remember, I always started from the Control era. And I was born in the Control era, but at the same time, growing up, I was growing up listening to Janet songs from Control and Beyond. I didn't know any songs before that. I could. She's her real voice. That's what I'm saying. But to me, that's her real voice. I mean, I don't know. It's like she always got that innocent, soft voice. So I know sometimes she could get louder. I mean, because her acting, she does acting and she could do all that stuff like that. So she would take charge of her life. So the first two albums was Janet Jackson, original Janet Jackson and Dream Street. And it didn't really do as much that she wanted to. That's not how they talk or talk. I was so Janet for the front all these years. Because I was love her voice. Because I said, oh, Janet got that nice, sweet, innocent voice. So she wanted to take charge of her life. I mean, He was making the decision of the album. He was making what they wanted her to sing, choose the songs they want her to sing, and that's not her voice. Like at that time, the first two albums mainly was the R&B kind of tracks. Yes, they do all have it too. Like I ain't fun. They do all have that kind of soft spoken voice and everything. And I said, okay, sure, talk me to sleep. So at the time, she said, you know what? I want to take control of my life, but also I wanted to date. So this one we get to James DeBarge, right? And I never really followed their family. I always related to Janet because of her voice. I have a high pitched voice, and people always question it is my natural speaker voice. Listen, my voice not even that deep. So you always think, oh my God, man, ain't got no deep voice. I said, whatever. I've been so, what the hell is going like that? I like my voice. Sure, but yeah, people always gonna question you. I said, what's your voice at? I think you're so normal. And that's always like, man, because she zooms the innocence and the shyness and all that stuff like that. And it's her mannerisms. Even today, she still zoomed that personality that we all know is her for growing up. Even though she got that fiery spirit when she on that stage, she turned up. But in real life, she always had that innocence. And you can always tell when she do interviews and stuff like that, she always carried that with her. And I said, I love it. So James DeBarge. I didn't really follow the DeBarge family. I didn't but I do know they was in a group together. I have a cousin who sound like Elba. They've been on video speaking normal. I think about the Ella when they grow. Yes, of course, has a purpose. Yes, that's true. Because it probably could run waves and everything. And it probably, when you're in the business meeting and also like that, people understand and like the soft, innocent voice than the normal, what the normal kind of speaker voice could be. Mm. Yes, that's true. So, DeBarge, and I knew that the brothers was a family, so yep, I felt bad. She always ended up in bad relationships. Yes, hey, Monties, how you doing, man? How you doing? And all right, so let's get to DeBarge. What's going on? I didn't even follow the Barge family, but I know their brothers was in a group together, and "Better Than Life" was one of the songs that I remember, but I don't remember the other songs. But they were successful as much. I wanted to know who started the movie about Reaper's kid being. That's what I want to know. I want to know too. But we get to that point, and I was like, yeah, because I was crazy, definitely crazy. And then she was Barge. So she started dating when she was 16 years old, and she was James Barge. And then, you know what? He did a cameo speaking, and he still looking too bad. Like he still looked okay. And hopefully he cleaned himself well. And he's married, he got children now, and all stuff like that. Yes, yes. Chica the Barge was big. Yes, God. See, I don't remember the boys like that. I do not remember them. I do remember Janet, but I do not remember the Barge like that. But looking at him now when he did the camera speaking, I said, oh, he look okay. He look okay. I mean, he had the glasses on and the haircut. I said, all right. Hope he did better himself because he did Janet wrong when he was young. But the drugs seems it takes over. And that's what happened. So she was 16 years old dating him, and it was secret. And she got married in secret. Nobody didn't know and everything. And then she came up pop one day with him, and they married. They married. We be always acting like she was the last thing to know. I said it sounded like the whole family was the last thing to know because she got married secretly. So when she came around, y'all all knew it together. So what's going on? You was the one where else everybody found out, and then you find out later on, Rebe. Like she always all back seemed like she was the last to know everything. Shoot. And his uncle married her. And it was so sad that she said when she went in the hotel room after they got married, he just left her in the room for 3 or 4 hours and he was nowhere to be found. I said, oh my gosh. At so young age as that. I said, what happened? And then she mentioned the story that how she kind of got addicted to people and she came to the realization throughout her life that she had been addicted to guys who was into drugs and like that, who needed help, a savior motif and everything. And she always wanted to save and help someone. And he was addicted to drugs. I said, damn, from wedding night, you got left her in 3 or 4 hours. I think there. And then you stay with him a year later on. I mean, I know she wanted to help him to get clean, to be better and everything. Cause they didn't look nice together. She was a beautiful young girl. He was a handsome young man. And that's that. But he was so involved and deep into it. And his old brothers was like that because I think a couple of brothers got charged and went to jail and everything. And he in trouble too with the drugs. I was like, oh my gosh. So around that time when she was still with him, she had a role on Cleo on Fame. And I said, I don't think I remember the Fame. I do remember Debbie Allen being in Fame, but I did not remember that Janet was on that Fame because I was so young, probably didn't recognize that was her, everything. But I don't remember Fame like that because I don't think I watched that show like that. But I do remember Debbie Allen. That's the name. I remember that she was on that show. And she was on Fame, but she didn't want to do that job. She did not want to do Fame. She only did it because her father wanted her to do it. And at that time, at the same time, she was still married to James Barge, and her mom was focused on him, like what he's doing. Like most times, Daddy was picking her up. He was late picking her up, and it was it was a lot. So sometimes she was going out early in the morning, like 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning, looking for him. It comes to the point it was just too much. Too much when she realized she can't really save him anymore. He had to work on himself, and just the Barge ever. Yes. See, I didn't remember much of the Barge like that. That's when y'all can like me on the brothers like that. But based on what she showed me, that yeah, they always heavy in the drug game or on dealing drugs or doing it themselves. And somebody told me one of them recently passed away last year. So I was like, oh. So because of that, she got many nights him not being around to the point that it was because of drug related. Now she didn't mention why he left her at that night in the hotel room, but it was alluded to the fact that yes, because he was involved heavily in that, and that's because she said she did to people who do drugs. That was applied that yes, he was heavy into it, and they got annulment because they only got married for within a year, and so basically it would never. We know as her history that she was married to him, but annulment means that their marriage never existed. So it's like you can't find the records that they ever been married unless they tell you that they was married. And I did not know that. That was one key piece of information that I found out through this documentary that she was with him. And I said, oh, okay. Come mind you, to Control Ever, when she started making her first album, I was just born. So I don't know I was gonna know all her deep storyline like that. That's why I was happy that she gave us a documentary to know a lot of things. All right. So this is the time when she was with him before she got the annulment. This secret came out about a rumor came out about Riri taking care of Janet Child. She had a secret baby, and Riri was taking her child. And then it also was talking about how the niece was her daughter, and then something Randy's child, something like that, because Randy's child looked close like Janet, and it was like that. I was like, damn, y'all was making babies for her. I said, damn, get out her freaking you know, it's like how Janet is now. How you know how much she wanted to have children? Don't you think she would have hide that? I don't think she would hide that. Yes, she's a private person. I mean, yeah, she got married secretly, but her family found out anyway, like because she showed them out in the family after she got married. So it's not like she was keeping it secret. And of course, if she was so in love with him back in the day, she would not hide the baby from him, despite what he was going through, or it's like that. So I don't think in Janet character that she would have hid a daughter all these years or whatever, had somebody else secretly raising a child. I was like, who started that? And I want you to see him. I said that was a crazy woman to start. And I was like, come on now. Especially now that we know Janet wanted the kid so bad and glad that she got her blessings. You would think she would hide that, especially if she was out. Well, she was still under her father's control at the time, but you know, she would have been her own control and everything and have her own mind outside of father. And eventually, we would have known that she would have been pregnant and stuff like that because the rumor was like kind of solidified because and she was famous, she was taking birth control pills, so she was gaining weight. And people always considered that, oh, maybe it was true because she was gaining weight when she was in Fame as Cleo. And I was like, gosh. And that's what I'm saying. And it was messed up. I was saying why they would think that. I don't think Janet would even hit a child. Yes, she might have had the baby and might have been know she was pregnant and everything, but when she had the baby, I know she probably would announce the baby. Like it's like she would have had she had been so proud of having a kid. Or she probably should have been so proud of announcing her pregnancy. Shoot, remember she announced her pregnancy, she was 50 years old, so why not she wouldn't think she would announce it when she was there, when she was young in love with somebody. James DeBard. You know, they would have had a beautiful kid if they had a kid. I was like, who put it out there? It was just so crazy. So that's when you know that they were trying to tarnish this Jackson name, like trying to put things out there to put them down. Like they was hating on them. They was rising to fame. There was black people rising to fame, doing well for themselves in the industry. And you know, no matter what they do, they all trying to take you down. And then the first thing that girl went on Love and Hip Hop and tried to make that get the whole story. Yeah, somebody telling me that. Somebody telling me that. Oh, Love and Hip Hop, oh, growing up hip hop. Somebody, one of those shows, they were saying that, oh, Janet Jackson's daughter. I said, y'all better shut up. You not nobody's daughter. Try to come in and make it rain. No. Yeah, I think growing up hip hop. I think in the storyline growing up, somebody was mentioning that she's grown Janet Jackson's daughter. I said, y'all need to stop that. Whatever y'all getting this from, she doesn't have any child. She having one child at 50 years old. She's 5 years old now, and that's it. Got a son. She had no other children because as how we know Janet, she probably would have been happy to have a child when she was growing up her fame. So I was like, come on now. That was stupid. Now who else that good? See, that I didn't really watch a recent season episode going on hip hop, but people was telling me about that. I think Dominique told me about that. I was like, what? And then have the good to say that or tell me. I said, well, producers, y'all really believe that she is whatever. All right. So around 1982, Janet and Michael, she started shipping because you know Janet, Randy, and Michael was always close, right? They always talked. They was close together because they was close to age and everything. And through the Thriller era, Janet started realizing that her and Michael she started seeing a change in Michael. And not only the change in him, but also change in their relationship with each other. So from there, it just started to separate, spread apart. Because at that time, he was rising to his fame on his own as a solo artist. He wasn't with his brothers like that. And she, I was thinking hard, but she did that to hide her illegal relationship. Oof. So I was like, yeah, the relationship between Michael and Janet started drifting apart from that era, Thriller era. And I said, oh, what's going on? And they was going their separate ways. And it wasn't as close as it was before. So then, you know, that's kind of affected her. And, you know, it kind of was because you've been so close to your siblings and then you have to separate apart and not as close as you could be. And I said, oh my God, especially y'all both is this stars and fame and everything. It's a lot. And that's the time you really should be close together. But you know, Michael getting up there and rise of fame and Janet trying to get to the same level. So she realized that Joe Jackson, well, she always realized that he gave us his fatherhood to be a manager. This song video together screen. Oh yeah, we'll get to that. We'll get to that. I was so happy they did that song together. But we'll get to that point. Even though with that song together, it was a lot of things going behind the scenes that couldn't have made the joyous as they that we got. That it was a great song, but it was not as joyous as creating a song. And Jessica became Janet's first assistant because at that time, Janet decided, you know what, I need to take control of my life. Here's why her album that made her famous was Control. And she had to fire her father. And that's what it is. Because after she fired her father, that's why her fame went up the roof. And she had to let him go. And she also said she didn't really have friends. That's my jam because the lyrics. Yes. For real. Sweeps. Come on. Where how Michael went off in that song. Both of them. It was like they had to release that. Sure. So 1985. So we continue the storyline. 1985. Terry Lewis and Jimmy Jam was performing at the Fly Times. That was the group. Correct me if I'm wrong, because I think they say Fly Times. And they was in a group performing the stage, and that's when they first met Janet. And from there, they worked together, and this is when they started the Control album. This was she was around 17 years old. She let go her father as a manager, and because of that, he had no management company because he had no business. And he had to shut down. And the assistant went to Janet, and that's when they started creating Control. And that was a staple. To me, Control was the album that broke her stardom. Like it was everything. And Paula Abdul was the choreographer of the Control Ever. And it took Paula Abdul to bring the Janet out that we see now, the performer. Somebody that we need. Because, she said when she met Janet, Paula Abdul was, I think, choreographer, the dancer of the team, basketball team, Lakers team, or something like that. And I guess people connected her to Janet, and she became her choreographer. I did remember that Paula Abdul used to work with Janet, so I was like, yeah, I do remember that. And she said Janet was always reserved, she was always shy, and all that stuff. And I guess it took Paula to bring it out of her. And from there, the Janet we see on stage is kudos to the person that brought it out of her, Paula. And as you always act like, Paula started crying when she did her thing because it was memory for her. It's like the Janet, it's like she turned a beast. It's something that she needed out of it. She needed somebody to give her. Yeah, sure did. You couldn't tell me nothing when I played the album, singing and dancing in my room when I was a little thing. That's what I said. When I was 17, I did what people told me. People didn't give her the credit. Yes, they didn't give her credit because it took her to bring Janet the way Janet performing that we are seeing now. Bringing out her shell. Because we all probably see Janet on stage. Janet's a beast on stage. Like, she comes out. That persona that we see, her soft-spokenness and everything, when she's on that stage, she turns it out. And I was like, and that's the thing that we need to get out of her. And that's what helped her propel forward. And on top of that, with the good music and the number ones hits that she got on the Control album, that rise to fame, the number one for a while. And it got 6 million albums. It sold 6 million records. I was like, oh, 6 million. All right. And that's the time when you have to buy the albums. So that's why I was so prevalent of the numbers game. That's why I say the numbers game now doesn't mean as much of album sales now because it's all about streaming than before when album sales is important because people have to go out to buy the albums. They had no social media to download and get the links and everything. They had to go and get the albums. And that's what create their accolades. So it was very hard work to make 6 million, to sell 6 million albums. Look, some of the girls desperately need a porter now. Sweet. Sure. I don't know if Paula's still be a choreographer, but still, I don't know if she can work with these people now. Sure. The high figure, the attitude they got and everything on stuff. But yeah, some of these girls now need some person like Paula to bring it out or to change the directions to give them image control or something like that. I don't know. She was excited to take a charge on her music. And that's the ever she needs to take a charge. And she didn't do no Control tour. But this was the time that she started getting her new relationship. Porter can't say that. They're cutting up. Right? This is the time she had a new relationship with Renee. I never knew this guy named Renee. Hope I can get his name right. Let me see. I wrote it down. Renee Elizondo. Yeah, Elizondo. That's when she started messing with him. And she got married to him and everything. And I didn't know about Renee. I mean, like I said, growing up, I always was drawn to music. I didn't really go deep into people's background story unless people was telling me about them, people telling about them. And just another thing I didn't know about her relationship and her marriage to Renee Elizondo. And we also find out he recorded a lot of documents, like a lot of the videos, clips of Janet for 10 years. He held it for 10 years and he never released it. And until now. And I said, oh, okay, all right. He mustn't really want to hold on to that stuff. And because of that, he was more film and she was the pop star and everything. And I guess that dynamic created this history and created a long run of her, of the music, the videography, the stage, the tours and stuff. He was right by her side. And I guess the dynamic duo between those two create the more iconic stardom that we all grew up, learned to love and everything. But yeah, he had some things with him because I always could see by the video clips that he was always clinked to that girl, clinked to Janet. I said, man, can you get off a puss box real quick? Like, come on, why are you so close? But you know, she loved him so Renee and everything to the point. In the early stages, it was never bad. Until later on in the years, it started getting worse. But that's that. And we also met David Ritz, her biographer, and they've been friends for like 30 something years. I said, wow, that's nice. Who been there, who always give biography of Janet and tell her story. So, despite her fame of the Control Ever and everything, yeah, I remember when I was 17, I did what people told me. Hey, did what my father said and let my mother mold me. Hey, control to get one about the hey. Hey, you know, and the other songs that came out of it. So because her rise of fame, she still couldn't get off of Michael's shadow. And that kind of frustrates me too. I was like, listen, I'm Janet Jackson. Yes, I had the Jackson name. And yes, Michael, my brother, and he is in the prime of his fame as well. But every time she was going to interview, because she was to Europe to promote the Control album. And every time she was on interview and everything, and fans and interviewers and everybody, oh, Michael, can I ask you a question, Michael? They asked a question about her, and then they say, oh, can I ask you a question, Michael? Michael, is Michael doing this? Michael, that, Michael. And I was like, I know at that time, yes, she is proud of her brother, and she's happy for her brother, but at the same time, it's like, gosh, I'm here promoting myself. Like, I'm Janet, like, cannot escape under his shadow, and since then, it can't. It's always a shadow over her with her brother, and it's always throughout her career. And it was sad. It could have played stop down, but at that peak of her career, her start of advance, she wanted to be her own thing. And yes, she did create her name to beyond the shadow, but she never wanted to surpass him. And she never wanted to compete against Michael, but she just wanted to start her own thing and go and have a name for herself. It's like, listen, yeah, I'm Janet Jackson, and I work hard based on my name, not because the name. And that's what she said. Her name is like a burden and blessing to her because it carries weight in the culture at the same time as a burden because that name is so big and bland. It brings scrutiny and also like that because of the name. So it was blessed and the curse of having the Jackson name. And she seen firsthand how having that name and having be under the famous Michael Jackson, she could escape from. So after the Control Ever, she said, listen, and she ain't doing no tours or anything. She was promoting. She had to do another era to which is also staple, one of the biggest ever for her, Rhythm Nation era. And 1988, she started recording her next album, Rhythm Nation. And that was a social conscious album. You could tell through her album, it was very social conscious, especially a lot of the songs, Rhythm Nation and the Knowledge, and some of the other songs that you could, if you listen to it, it really gives you what her mindset at the time. It was bad, and it was telling stories about what was going on in the world around her. And yes, I remember the Control album came out February 4th, 1986. That's the year I was born. I was born February 14th, 1986. So I was like, oh my gosh, I did not know that. She always like, oh my gosh, I like some kind of probably meant to be for me to like her. Everything. So the Rhythm Nation album, at that time, it was kind of hiccups a little bit with the album making because she was bumping heads with Jimmy and Terry and all that stuff. And I guess it was a lot of pressure, a lot of things going on to kind of because the sophomore, yeah, the junior kind of album, and to do better for the Control era. And since it's on her management, it was a lot of pressure for herself, so she wanted to do a social conscious album, and it was a lot. It was a point that Jimmy was laughing at her, and she was getting frustrated. She said, "What you laughing about? What you laughing? I'm here trying to do songs. I'm recording, doing over and over and over. Y'all laughing. She started got fiery. She said, "Listen, I can't do this." He said, "Your album should be out by now. What the producer gonna say? What the people gonna say?" She said, "I don't care. This level is not done. It's not doing because I'm not putting this thing out here like that. We got only 4. I know we gotta do this right, and y'all here laughing at me." And that's an old child. But they said when they disagreed with it, she was kind of stubborn a little bit. But at the same time, they had a vision, and they always could get back together and work on it, even though they didn't see things eye to eye. But they always came together around to complete the finished product and do well. And later on, she had to cool down and say, "Oh, Jimmy, can we do?" And that's what she said. And then she let us know, listen, I was just not a figure artist who was singing songs. I was a songwriter too. I was writing songs. I was producing my songs and everything. Don't get it twisted, y'all. I was getting my accolades for my own songs too. It was not. I was getting their own money. I was getting my own money for writing my songs too. So listen, don't get it twisted. I was a songwriter as well. I said, "All right, Jenny, you better let us know." Sure. So at that time, she was preparing to do a tour, and she was nervous because I was like the Rhythm Nation tour, and she had to do it. So she went to see her brother in the bad tour and get inspiration and see her brother up close and personal on stage and give her the fire to move forward, the fire to do her own tour, all that stuff. And because Rhythm Nation in the tour and everything, that Rhythm Nation song did it because everybody that ever was starting to dress her like her. They were singing her songs. It was a lot of things in the album that was so great. And Come Back to Me and a lot of other songs and Rhythm Nation and I think Escapade was on that song's album too. But it was 7 number 1 hit singles. And she has 7 top 5 singles from that album together. And that album doubles our sales that the Control had. 12 million albums sold compared to Control was a 6 million. And I said, "Oh, Janet." And that's when she started creating her own tour. Around 1990, she started touring for the Rhythm Nation tour. And I was like, "All right." And that famous thing, the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And she showed us on TikTok on the thing, and the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And it was like, and I was like, okay. I was like, yeah. The position of the movements, they were so together. I was like, yo. And Mrs. tweeted, and Mrs. said she saw this video, and she realized that Janet did not blink at once in her video when she did Rhythm Nation. And I said, "Oh wow, that was dedication and focus on that song." She said, "Y'all ain't get me blinking up in here. I'm gonna dance this song, and I'm gonna give you this vocals on that stuff." So that's kind of weird that you do the whole song not blinking. But I guess with different takes. But yeah, if you did see the song, she was definitely focused. That Janet was focused on that video. I mean, y'all go back and YouTube ever have a videos there, y'all gotta see it because it was something else. But we found out the Rhythm Nation tour was the biggest record debut tour to this day. It's 2022. And that tour holds the biggest sold album tour ever. To this day. I was like, you gotta put respect on Janet Jackson's name. The fact that this tour came out started in 1990, and this has been the biggest record tour sold ever. Nobody has beat that album yet. Nobody has beat this tour sales yet. That's an old child. Yeah. Love would never do without you. Baby. They say we'll never last. We have to prove them wrong. And all right. So from the time 1990, she got inducted to the Hollywood Walk of Fame. She was like 24, 23, 24 at the time. And I said, oh, that was young. I said, listen, she marked her Hollywood Walk of Fame star early. It takes some people, some artists years to get that. And now she was able to get that right off after the Rhythm Nation tour. So that's speaks to her vibes of how much she was doing greatly in this thing. Oh, from that Janet album. Anytime, any place, I don't really care what. Oh my gosh, that was one of my all-time favorite songs. And that's the way love goes. Ooh, that's the way love goes. Ooh, we get DJ Hassel from that video. Oh yes. She got inducted for the Hollywood Walk of Fame, and she got signed with Virgin Records. That's my album. Yes, that I grew up with. Yes, the Control Rhythm Nation and Velvet Rope. Velvet Rope was my favorite album from her. Most songs I like from my album, it was Velvet Rope. Velvet Rope. But I do love a lot of songs from Rhythm Nation and everything. So, and I think she's kind of broke. I think she broke the Thriller album record from the Rhythm Nation to Rhythm Nation. So I was like, oh, that's good accolades. Okay, now when she got signed to Virgin Records, here they go again. Yeah. So when they got signed with Virgin Records, I was like, okay, there's more freedom control for her. Let's see. Yes, very well with the masterpiece. We go deep and we don't get no sleep, and when we up all night, I get so lonely. Oh my gosh. And that Velvet Rope tour, child, I wish that YouTube, I was gonna go to YouTube and see if they got that tour, because child, that was great. Tell me up, tell me down. Oh snap. Let me stop singing, y'all. So when she got the Virgin Records, she got her role in Poetic Justice. Y'all know that's one of the favorite movies all time, and a great movie. You know, co-star Regina King and Tupac Shakur, and other people as well. Q-Tip was on it. I was like, there was a lot of names on that movie, and it was great. It was a great movie, and people always thought that Tupac and Janet would make a great couple. I don't think so too. But you know, at the time, she was still with Renee. So she couldn't really go forward with Tupac, but everybody still realized it was chemistry between those two, and it was really chemistry. And that that was the look. You know, people back that day was rocking the Janet Jackson look with the braids, with the cap, with the jeans and the black tie. You know, listen, you couldn't tell nobody nothing with the Poetic Justice ever came out with her little thing. People was rocking it. So, oh yes, shoot the hair. The hair whip, all that stuff. Oh yeah. So right from the time after that, she started recording again video, and that's when the time that Janet said, "You know what? I gotta push the envelope. It's more in me that I have to give people, and I need to start showing it." And this was the sex symbol icon came out. The sexiness of Janet. Because we always got the Janet, and she was a fireman beast and all that like that. But when she did the again video, this is where we start showing. Yep, Janet album here ever was everything. That's what I say, right? Sure. But well, and this is where we start getting the sexier Janet. And get the box. All the yes, I'm telling you, that era was crazy. When that Poetic Justice came out, people was rocking their braids and going after the cat. You know, you couldn't do nobody nothing. Anyway, here, yup, you right. So in the Get video, I heard from the friend today, and you said when you went out, suddenly the memories. That's a song, y'all know again. And I used to love when she always performed that song after Let's Wait a While. And she always performed Let's Wait a While, and then she goes straight into it again. I said, oh, okay, I love it. That transition, it was great. And that's when she started getting her sexy on. And she would push the envelope. And that's what she was coining the sex symbol icon at that time. Because the thing and that model that she had, that famous going on pants to pull out the neck bracelet, whatever it was, up and showed more of her skin and her body and stuff. That was everything. Everything. When they was there, tell, oh, you gotta do this, you gotta do that, you gotta do this, you gotta do that, and all that stuff. And she wanna do something different. And that's the time when she had another choreographer at the time, or a friend named Tina London. And she was helping them get through her stuff. Because again, baby, that famous, iconic, yes. And what year again? I gotta see what year that movie again, that song video again came out. Because I can see what age I was. Because Control I was just born. And, 1990, I was kind of like 4 years old around that time. So I don't know what age I was at the beginning video. I gotta check it out. But we got the iconic cover. Yes. Ever. When she was up like this. The Rolling Stone cover. Breast was black and white. It was not most black and white. It was most grayish. Whatever. And the pants cut. Like that. And all that stuff. And that's all. The man, everybody would know who's the man holding her breast. It says, yes, that transition was always everything. Who was holding her breast? Because everybody wanted to be the man. Everybody wanted to be the man, but we know that was Renee. Everybody Renee holding her breast while she's the most sexy, iconic cover ever on Rolling Stone. And that's what everybody started realizing. Said, oh, Janet pushed the envelope for the rest of the girls who do whatever they need to do. That's what saying you need to respect the man, because it's like, listen, wasn't for her pushing the envelope and making everybody, because everybody was like, listen, I couldn't do that. Even Mariah Carey saying, listen, more big to Janet, because I couldn't even do that. I couldn't do that. Mariah Carey is a big iconic name too. So it was like, child, legend. And she couldn't do that. Basically, everybody was like, wow, Janet just pushed the envelope and she just took it out there. And I said, yeah, she did. All that stuff. So that's why her sexy icon ever came about. And she was approached by Coca-Cola because of that album. Not album, the cover. She was approached by Coca-Cola and she was about to get this deal with Coca-Cola. At the same time, Michael had a deal with Pepsi. Oh. Yes, right? Yes, it was everything still the same. So sexy, sensual, but still tasteful. Yes, it was definitely tasteful. It was covered in nipples. It was sexy. It was like, yo, we never seen this reputation at that time from any other female artist like that. Yes. I mean, yes, we get the beautiful in the face and everything, but it's the first time we ever somebody who really used and kind of nude, semi-nude, and give us something on the cover, and it showed other females that they could do it. It's like, listen, if she could do it, I could do that, and everything. And that's why we started getting more of that. But so this one, the allegations really started from that time with Michael, and this got caught more in the shadow of her being Janet Jackson, the name and everything, because the Pepsi commercial, the Pepsi ever that Michael was doing, he got, when he was doing that, he had hair caught fire and all that stuff, and that kind of changed him a little bit. And at the same time, the allegations of him doing something with a young minor, which I never believed that was true, or to say it was proven it was also true, but still, people still want to hold on to think that was kind of true. Well, I was like, listen, and let it go. It was done and over with. Whoever that old man, that guy who trying to come out years later with Oprah, trying to tell his story, trying to act like it was still true. I said, listen, it never happened. Stop it. But rumors like that starts, and it gets carried. Because of that, allegations was going on with Michael. Coca-Cola dropped Janet. I said, oh my gosh. I said, she didn't do nothing. She wasn't even part of it, but guilty by association. Guilty by association. Because she's the brother of Michael, they just drop her because I feel like, I guess they didn't want no that hate against them. But I was like, gosh, because the Jackson name. And I said I kind of messed up because that was a big deal to get signed by Coca-Cola and Pepsi and do commercials and stuff like that. That's a big endorsement deals. And I know that was great for Jen at the time, but because she got dropped because of that allegations going on. And it kind of affected her career at that time with the Michael Jackson name and his case ongoing. A lot of her viewpoints, career was affected because of it. And I said, man, Janet, I feel for her. But at the same time, family always gonna stand by together. They stand by Michael and they say, listen, we know he didn't do it, all that stuff, and we're gonna stand by him, we're gonna support him and everything. But this is when they was trying to jumping around things because they mentioned about how 2017, that's around the time that it was kind of record screen, but then they jumped back into 1993 when Janet and Michael were starting writing for the word song Scream. So they would say we had to do something together. I didn't support him. He's in his troubled times. I know a lot of things that was going through him. His mindset is changing, and it does something to him. So he just has so much built up anger. Not only the rise of the fame, being a pop star and everything. Now he got these allegations because he can't escape. He's going to court case and stuff. So he had to do it. So in 1993, we saw that Janet went to New York and his apartment in New York, and they started writing for Scream. And she was on the computer typing his words out, and she had to give her part and say all that stuff. And they said, okay, right. And to this day, like at that clip, they was kind of worried about their mother figure out they cursing or whatever. And I was like, oh, go away. Worry about your mom cursing. Some people still have that fear that I can't curse for my parents and stuff like that. I say he a big icon, and he was worried about, oh, I said this F word, how mom gonna feel. It kind of had a joke about it, but it was like a funny moment between the siblings, and it was like, oh, mom gonna hear this, all that stuff. It was surprising to even find out that album, well, that song, that video cost us $7 million. I said, $7 billion. Ooh, but you know how futuristic that video was, and kind of spaceships and the aircraft, all that stuff, and the thing. It was very simple, but complex at the same time. And $7 million, I said, I didn't know it would cost that much to make that video. I think that was the most grossing video there in history. I don't know, it might be more, but $7 million at the time was a lot for that video. But as much greatness of that song was, it was a lot of kind of turmoil back the scenes because she felt like the producers, people, whoever, were trying to make them compete with each other, even though that's not the case. They want to support each other and do a song. And when they were doing recordings for Scream, it was that time they would block out his sections with the black thing so she could see what the hell he was doing, and vice versa. And it was like, what is this? Why are we doing that? And I was like, y'all just doing too much. So it created kind of turmoil. But at the same time, also within the studio, listen, it remember the studio. He came in that studio. He said, "Hey, how am I doing?" I said, "Good, Michael. That's all right. Let's get ready to go." And baby, they said he sung that song from top to bottom with conviction. And everybody who saw the thing last thing with me, I said, "Oh, Michael was mad. He was." And he was going down, And then, when Janet came with her son, they said, what? What's going on? You got to put some more fire into it. You got to put more things. You missed this, this was like off. But he was like, throwing it out there with that song. And I was like, oh, yes. Mm-hmm. He could tell. And he had to get it out. And both of them had to get it out what was going on with themselves. And it's iconic. And that's what people was thinking, that they should have done the album together. It would have been so great to do the album together one time. But we can get the screen. All right, yes. So she was saying at this around the time, she said it was interesting. She said she only went to his house like one time. I said, oh, one time. But I'm not thinking that she think that he was guilty or anything. I think it's just that I don't know. Maybe she was busy, he was busy or everything. But at the same time, when she said with the time she did went, I guess the people in the house were trying to make a division between those two, and it kind of he was kind of like shutting his family out a little bit. I don't know. I mean, imagine what you would go through, how you would feel when all this stuff was going on, and said that things about you. And I know you love your family and everything, but I don't know. It started creating division even more than when it was between Janet and Michael and some of the family and Michael and his family because he wasn't really talking to his family like that at that time. And it's kind of shutting them out. So before this Velvet Rope tour that's happened, I love the Velvet Rope ever. Renee was doing the most now. He was doing way too much. He was all in her behind, all close to her. It couldn't get a breather. They were so clumped together. It was getting too much because she needed a break. She said needed a break for everything. I think she went to Hawaii, took like a 2 week vacation and stuff. And then she went to LA to visit her mom again. And Renee was recording. And I guess one time that she was telling Renee not to record her mom. And they said, stop recording. Stop. Nah, stop it. Don't put it on her. No, stop. All that stuff. And it was good the most. He was always next to her. It's like you walking and somebody's always following behind you. It's like, gosh, like you his shadow. Like he's your shadow, something like that. And that's when she started realizing to this day, realizes that he was addicted to painkillers. I said, oh, that's another whole addiction going on. Your one husband was addicted to drugs. Now this other one's addicted to drugs, and a whole different drugs with painkillers. And it was no off button. Yeah, it very controlling. That's what it was. It very controlling vibes that he's giving off. That he didn't let Janet at his sight whatsoever. To the point that it had to stop. So while she was recording and while she was working on her Velvet Rope tour and auditioning on us like that, he probably was never prevalent. He was not there. It was kind of like that's what it took people to realize that something's going on with Janet because now she's Velvet Rope tour. He was always there. Now he's not there. So when she was doing the tour, the relationship with him got sour. After 9 years, she had to divorce him. And I think he was like, he went half on whatever going on. He went a lot of things. He went his due just. I mean, granted, yes. Behind Janet's success and everything, yes, Renee was there and he did help propel a lot of her success and everything. But, gosh. So I guess whenever they got settled and everything, I guess that's what happened. I guess part of the settlement was keeping that videos a secret, whatever. On that stuff. I guess he got his money, whatever. But 9 years of marriage, I didn't know they were married to that long, for sure. I didn't even know Janet wasn't even married like that. The only thing I thought that Janet never got married. Growing up, thinking that she never got married until I got this documentary and found out she got married twice already. So I said, oh, and then I know she got married to this recent guy that she divorced now, who had a son with. But yes, definitely was kind of similar. And I'll say that's the thing that she was like, oh no, I can't do with that. My father's ready enough. And you will come here acting up. So she had divorced him. And at that time, she said she was going through the weight issues. And her brother Michael, was kind of teasing her about, oh, you a cow, you was this and that. I said that was kind of messed up for him to even say that, even though I don't think she took him at. I don't think that she took him as being serious or they was joking around, but at the same time, it did kind of hurt her by saying the words to her when she was going through weight issues, calling her a cow, calling her big, and all this like that. And I said, oh no. So at the time, she really suffers. She suffered very privately of what's going on because she always been a private person, so she suffered things going deep down, not letting people know what's going on and going through. Oh, I did forgot. Remember when they asked Rebe about how do you feel about Janet becoming a sex symbol and all that stuff and being on those, she said, "Oh well, I'm holy and all that stuff." That's like shade. That's just sit your ass down. That's you always been the last one to know things. Why you would shade her because she did? So I said, "Oh, you had to throw in that you a holy and down like kind of individual." Like, what the shade is coming from? I didn't know y'all caught that, but I said, "Girl, chill, whatever." And people on Twitter said that's what we would act like she. That's why we don't never get to know everything so quickly, because she was lasting to know because you want to be shading Janet. But I was like, oh yeah, she started getting weight issues from the Good Time era, and that's when she was like, well, her Michael that he was keep teaching her, and that's what she always been suffering from that. Yes, wherever she was kind of like shaded. I said, okay, whatever. Now we get into the that kind of moment, y'all. We get into that. All for you. All for you. We really want it. And the girls in the fire, looking that fire, shaking that thing, looking at when they see enough package on. If you gotta have the right tonight. That's when she started dating Jermaine Dupri. And I do vividly remember that she started dating him and everything. And at that time, he wasn't a big producer. And then I was like, was he? But then again, I realized that yes, he didn't start to really get big until towards the late 90s, early 2000s, something like that. And Janet been a big pop star from early 80s, it's like that. Well, 70s, 80s, like that. Yup. Yes, that man is a fool. So I was like, he is a fool. So I was like, okay. So I did realize like he wasn't as big as Janet was at the time she started dating him, doing the All For You era. So I was like, okay. From there, 2004. And 2004, when I was a freshman in high school. And I remember vividly watching that Super Bowl because I don't watch the game. Super Bowls, I always watch the halftime and watch it. And when I found out that Janet was going to perform at that Super Bowl, I was excited. I said, oh, yes. I finally get to see her on Super Bowl and everything. I would listen to her music and everything. And I didn't get to her tour till later on in my life and everything when I was in the 20s and stuff like that. But yes, they were dragging her. It's funny. They were dragging her. Because remember when they asked him why you and Janet relationship broke up, he said he didn't know. And I said, boy, don't act like you didn't know. You knew exactly what happened. And then Janet had to tell him, well, I found out he was cheating on me. And then he confirmed that a little bit. Then he was start laughing. I said, what you laughing for? You from the bag, boy. Shoot. Yes. So I remember, oh, you do it aerially, right? Him and Justin. They never could, no matter what happened, no matter how much she forgives them, and she move on, he will never, especially our black community, would never forget JT. Hell to the no. Even though her and JT are good friends, she said, whatever we talk, we good friends. Leave it be. I forgive him, move forward, whatever. But let's start talking about the big or kind of moment that everybody will talk about. The Super Bowl. So 2004, she was walking on the Super Bowl. And I was so excited because I said I was a freshman in high school, and I was like, all right, I'll go. I won't wait to see. I can't wait to see Janet, right? Yes, it was great. The dancing, the videography, it was everything. That's what was everything. And then we get this cornball JT with a figure slacks and whatever it is. I said, oh, can you get dressed in outfits like that? All dressed it? Yes. That's what I'm saying, right? And he came in a little cornball, little outfit he had, where she had to dress all nice and everything. All the dancers was all nice costume. You could have given him the costume too, but whatever. She said her JT became good friends when they NSYNC opened a tour for them. They opened up for one of her tours. And this was she was sitting at Randy House squunching and crunching. She recollection her feelings about that time. So we all was watching. Everything was going on. Stuff saying for Dandy, and she was doing it. The message she was giving, the thing, it was big. Jermaine Dupri said he was out trying to go there, and when he was going out, they was already starting to perform. And the transition to what she was doing. Talk to me, boy. All that stuff. All that stuff was going on. And the last part of it have you naked for the end of the show, ripped off the right breast, right part of the breast. Now she had a nipple ring on, but we couldn't really see the nipple, and we could tell it was an accident and my wardrobe malfunction because she was shocked when I guess the reaction whatever happened because she was like, and then she covered it real quick, and I think he staring. I said, "What the hell are you staring at it for? What the hell?" He stared there because he realized that happened, and she was like, "Hold up!" And then she told me they said it on the thing that after it done, she was running out. She ran out of there. She was crying, everything because she was so embarrassed. That happened. Now, mind you, let's go from there real quick. When I watched that, and I was like, "Hold up." Because I remember when I went back to school, people were talking about it, and teachers and professors said, "Oh, what should you do that?" And I was like, "Shut up," because at the end of the day, it wasn't that big of a deal to me. Yes, and yeah, I didn't really realize because when we saw that, and I remember we all remember vividly when it happened because I was in my house with my mom and we was watching all stuff like that, and it happened. She's there, everybody's applauding, and then all of a sudden it was like, and that's it. That's what happened. Like, come on. Yes. And I was like, hold up. We didn't even see no nipple. They call it a nipple gate and all that stuff like that. And I didn't see no nipple. All I saw was, I know it was a ring here. I know it flat out, but you could tell that more of the outfit was pulled off more than it was. And it wasn't malfunction because it's supposed to never been happen like that. Because she was thinking it was going down, but until she realized the shocking thing and it happened, everybody was like, oh my gosh. Like, if she knew it, like I said, if people say that she knew there was going to be a PR stunt and everything, I was like, listen, she wanted to be brazenly be like, oh yeah, whatever. She would have been like, yes, said in store. She would never got that reaction like this. Like, no, that's not what's supposed to happen. That was never supposed to happen. And I guess they planned it out there because if it was that most wardrobe malfunction, it's supposed to be protocols to shift that camera somewhere else, and they failed to do that. So it's like it's kind of like it was set up to kind of make her fail. My dad, man, he missed it. That's like the one thing. Yes, and I said why? And yes, people say the media made a big thing out of it because a lot of people didn't realize that what was going on, and they would say, "Oh, she trying to do the PR stunt for promotion for All For You album." And I said, "She don't need a promotion. Her name carries weight. What promotion she needs? She didn't need that. She didn't need no promotion, no PR stunt." And how come y'all blaming her? She didn't rip it off herself. She didn't perform the stage by herself. Because that man next to her ripped it off of her. She got all the heat, but he can square right by. Now, she did tell us that, yes, he called her and everything, and he was fancy. He said, what's going on? You want me to say something? What's going on? It's like, because everybody was focused on Janet, she said, you know what? I'm a big name, whatever. Focus on me. They're going to put it on me anyway. Don't say nothing because it will take away, they will come after you, whatever. She told him not to say nothing. So he never said that. I said, even if she did tell him not to say nothing, you could have took some subtle stance, like the Grammys. The Grammys was like 2004 around that same time, at like a 2 week something ever, weeks after the Super Bowl. He was invited. She supposed to be there, but they took away her being at the Grammys. But he still went. And I said, no, we were both together. I was not going myself. You could have took a stance then and there. Even though he didn't say nothing, he could have took a stance. I said, no, I don't feel like, because we both was at the stage and everybody shading this girl. But no, your career was skyrocketing than her. And her thing stalled. Her career didn't this marriage, it was stalled for a couple of times. And yes, she was still make appearances and stuff like that, and some of the things like one of Sister Park was she was still showing up and everything, all that stuff. Because we feel like they were trying to make a big deal of her and trying to shut her out because the Jackson name. And the reason why they was making that big deal because at that same time, Michael was in court. He was in court. And because he was going to court at the time, and this would happen, because her last name was Jackson, I think that was the whole reason why they shunned this girl out. It was more than the breast. It's more than a nipplegate, whatever that was calling it. It was more because the Janet Jackson, they were compatible. So she herself felt like that was the reason why they hammed on her so hard like that. I guess to make an example, I don't know, whatever. It was definitely was because of that. It was because of that his going through the case, they wanted to pound something heavy on her and make her guilty more because what they was going, Michael was going through, so she could be guilty as well. So that's put a fault on her, or she would purposely want to do this, and she sexualized the children, all that stuff like that. And whoever that, what was that guy at CBS? Movaz, whatever it is, who got recently got fired, whatever, because he was going through his sexual improper sexual impropriety, whatever it is, whatever, improper sexual conduct. That guy who was trying to slam a Janet name for years to come, trying to demolish her accomplishments and everything, who recently got fired by that station that he was on, jamming her name out like that. I was like, ooh, you really hate me, man. Oh, because she denied the interview. Does that make history repeat itself? Don't you ever remind you of something that we recently talked about? That he said something, she told him to stop. He wanted an interview. She said no, and then he dragged her name off freaking throughout the years to come. And took Carmen by his behind and got him out of it. Talk about Janet sexualizing things when you were being inappropriate sexual with people behind your scenes, whatever you was doing. Yeah, I remember his name. It's called Les Mouvez, whatever that is. Yeah, so she told him not to say nothing. She said, forgive him. Forgive JT and everything. And people said, no, we can't forgive him. I said, we love you, boo. But we can't go by that. Because at the end of the day, it was like, why? It's all because she's a woman. And then you're a black woman as that. And then because of the name Jackson, that covers weight. That was a big factor why they was coming down on Janet. And that's that. But her resiliency kept pushing her forward. And that's the thing I admire about her. She kept moving forward. And because of that, you know, they pulled away from the Grammys. Even Jermaine Dupri would say, you know what? I didn't feel like that's my girlfriend, that how she can't go to Grammys. So he took took the L, and he didn't go. I said, that's great. Stand by your woman. It's like that. Because I would have, you would not hear a day if you would have continued going on. Oh, yeah, Julie Chen's husband. That's his name. Yeah. Oh, no. Julie Chen, yeah, who was on one of those gospel talks. The talk. Yeah, I don't watch none of those stuff. The View, one of those. I think The View. Julie Chen's husband. Yes, he was on who's freaking dogging Janet Jackson's name for years to come because she denied an interview with him. And I told you, history repeats itself because you know what happened recently? Cardi denied interview with Tasha K. And then she started dragging Cardi's name. Yep. Sexual inappropriate conduct. And he recently got fired not too long ago because of what he was doing. So Carmen, bite your behind. Talk about she was sexualizing things. He was doing inappropriate stuff. Yes. Big Brother. Yeah, she hosts that show too. But she was in one of those shows too. She was in the talk shows, right? Before she started hosting that. And so she told us to forgive him and said, no, we can't do that. Yes, it was a definite accident. It was not something they intentioned to happen, all that stuff, but they was dragging her name. MTV banned her album because that's just around the time she was about to release the All For You and everything. And it was MTV banned her album, all that stuff. We find out she's cousin to Stevie Wonder. I said, oh, okay. I didn't know that, but I think people did allude to that years ago. I said maybe I wasn't paying attention or whatever. But she's Stevie Wonder cousin. Yes. She wanted to have Jermaine Dupri babies and all that stuff like that, and how much she ever wanted and all that stuff. And he proposed to her. She said yes. But then he said, oh, because he was with Janet. Yes. Yeah, BT held her down at that time so that, other people started buying BT out. But they held her down because around the time everybody was shutting her out, they was the one that was kept her name running and going through. Still playing her music and stuff like that. One of Sister Parker and all that stuff? No. Yeah, that was on BET, right? Yeah, One Six Park. I thought about that. Yes. And he was saying that because he was with Janet, women was gravitating toward him because he was with Janet. I said, how backwards is that? How the hell they would want to be with you because they was with Janet? You was with Janet. Whatever. I said, that's kind of fishy and kind of weird that a woman want to be with you because you were with Janet. I said, what they would get out of being with you when Janet has a bigger name than you? Like, what was that? So because of that, his head got big and he said, oh my gosh, and he started doing things that he shouldn't be doing. He got loose with it. And that's the reason why they broke up. And on top of that, he was a workaholic. That's the time he started becoming big as a producer. He was workaholic. He hadn't really had time for her, all that stuff. She wanted to have time to spend time with him and everything. I said, how the hell you gonna have babies or start family if you had no time meeting each other? And they basically was in two different states. They wasn't living together like that. So it was like she had to let him go. So then she started getting involved in something that we all had kind of loved. I mean, I love the two movies. Why Did I Get Married? Why Did I Get Married 2? I still love the movies. And Tyler Perry saying, let's listen, y'all need to get over it. It was always just nipple. Let it go. And that's not like what Tyler Perry, because he always stand by us, that he give people opportunities to be in roles and stuff like that. And yes, as much as we could clown his writing, he was feeling himself. And I was like, you're lucky she even gave you a chance. That's what I'm saying. Little Munchkin, like, what the hell? He ain't all that to me. He not all that to me. Little Munchkin, they go do that. And people say, oh, how you cheat on Janet? Like, nobody is exempt from being cheating on, but at the same time, like, if you got a big icon like that next to you, and you becoming a big producer, you can be a big powerhouse, why the hell you would mess up that chance? Because people was feeding it to you because you were Janet. I was like, why? Come on. Child. So Tyler Perry said, listen, y'all just get over it. Y'all doing too much and everything. It's on the nipple. It is what it is. Y'all is mad. Y'all never seen one before. Let's let it go. So he didn't care about that. So he got Janet on the Why They Get Married. She did her role. And during the time when I think it was when she started recording Why Did I Get Married 2. And that's a famous thing. We said, oh, you crazy? You think I'm crazy? I'll show you crazy. That was my scene there. I said, oh, Janet, you was going through something, girl. She had her hair was wetted. She had the tears, the snot, everything. I said, oh, they just dropped you, girl. Or you just act like, girl, she had the golf club. Freaking Tyler and freaking Michael J. White, and everybody was shook and scared. She was breaking everything in the household. Y'all remember that scene? Oh, you think I'm crazy? I'll show you crazy. And that's around the time she was filming that Michael. She found out the news that Michael died. And I said, oh, yes. I probably fueled her anger. I said, oh, no. And she said the last time she talked to Michael and everything it was a surprise party for the family, the parents. And they was together. They was sitting down. They was chitting and chatting, joking and cackling. And then the last thing they said to each other was, I love you. And I said, that's a good memory to hold because even though it's sad to die, it would have been worse if the last argument with the person that just passed away that you love so much was an argument and not I love you. Like sometimes a lot of people get hurt and down and out and be mad of themselves because the last thing they had with their loved ones that just passed away was an argument. And you say you hate them and you didn't want to see them again. And now actually you never will see them again. And it will kill you inside. So I was like, even though she was hurt about how going to pass, I think she had a good memory of that. At least we had said I love you with each other. And that would be the last time we said I love you. I mean, it still hurts. But it wasn't like in a bad terms that even though they was not close as much, they still got together. It was like, it was beautiful. And I said, oh my gosh. I was like, great that they had that I love you together, even though they was not as close as siblings growing up because he was going through a lot. But at least they said I love you and they had a good time, like old times. So 2016, she announced her pregnancy when she was 50 years old. And I said, oh yeah. And everybody said, oh, Janet's been pregnant at 50. And I said, hey, listen, you got to do it. She wants to be a mom so bad. Even her mother was like, "Oh, I'm so happy. She's a great mom, got me grandchildren and all that." And Janet also happy that her father, before he passed, he was able to spend time with his grandson, and it was good. Easton, I think it's Easton. Yeah, he's 5 years old now, but we never really see a picture of her because you never gonna see a picture of her. Janet's probably like that. Even though she's pregnant and everything, but you ain't gonna be seeing much of her baby like that. Beginning of much, but after divorce, I think to preserve the privacy and wishes of her ex-husband, I guess, because people will say why she didn't talk about her recent marriage and the baby or something like that. She mentioned the baby, but she didn't show it on recent pictures of it. Because I guess it was based on the settlement between those two. She can't really talk about it. So I was like, I don't blame her. I ain't gonna say nothing about it either. Sure, let her be. And she had her baby boy at 51 years old. And 6 months after, because I remember watching Unbreakable tour. Yeah, Unbreakable tour. And 6 months later, after she had a son, she went and did her tour, and it was good. Same energy, same fiery stuff like that Janet gave us as always. In 2019, that's when her father died. Yes, I was like, oh now, but she said she always thanked you for her father. That's the time her father died. That if it wasn't for him pushing her, even though she probably wanted to go to school and she probably wanted to be a lawyer and everything, she appreciate that father was the one that pushed her to be the artist that she is now. And she would never take anything away. She said, listen, I would never let anything that happened in my life or stuff happen. It made me the one where I am today, and I'm grateful for that. Everything. And so at that time, they try to snub her for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And I said, oh, y'all still going through this freaking Super Bowl? That incident still carried to this day? Y'all better stop it. So this was around the time social media started getting better. It started getting prevalent. So when that time people still realized that she was getting snubbed for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, they said, oh no, we're not having that. We're not having it. Everybody was on our phone. Appreciate Janet Jackson. Appreciate who they had to speak their voices, because I said that's great for social media, because I understand people act like people was um people was not supporting Janet. I said that's not true. We was always still loving supporting Janet, even after her troubled times. The albums she came out afterwards, like 20 years old and Domino Joe and stuff, they still became successful. As not as much as the other album was, but it was still been successful because it still became number one's albums as well and everything. So I was like, you trying to keep this girl down, and y'all couldn't keep her down. Y'all thought y'all did something, and it kept her going up. It kept going, like that. And she got abducted because they had to, like, you know what? We had to give her accolades because people on social media was like, listen, we still rock behind the girl, and y'all trying to play her. No, we're not having that. And that's why it was good that social media now gave her pushed the accolades for her to get the award that she needed, what she deserved. And Janae Monáe, she abducted and presented the award to Janet. It was a good accomplishment for her too. Yes. And that's when it did it. We find out that we already know the Jackson name impacted pop culture. Jackson family, the Jackson, Michael Jackson, Janet Jackson, Jackson 5, they influence a lot of artists now. A lot of artists is influenced and imitates what they do. We got Tiana Taylor, and we got Sierra, and then we got Beyonce, and then we got Britney. A lot of them is inspired by Janet. Imitate a lot of her stuff from her movies and videos and her choreography and her tours. Imitate a lot of her things. And, Missy always praise Janet. Always praise her. And say she's a queen. She's a legend. And she's always been a legend. You can't take that away from her to this day. And now she's going to focus on her baby. And, yes, she was the blueprint for a lot of these female artists to push the envelopes to this day. of doing sexual stuff on stage. Not, but even when she her thing, oh remember, yeah, baby. Remember that All For You tour and all stuff like that? And I know we all remember that iconic moment with that Would You Mind? Chad with the all black on. And that boy jigging himself, G's in his pants. Oh, Aunt Janet. Oh, Chad. Y'all remember that? The tour when she filmed in Hawaii and she showed us? Ooh, baby, ooh, baby. Ooh, baby. She walked out in that Ooh, baby, baby song. Love sing Ooh, baby. And then she started doing Would You Mind? And she said, hold up. I'm missing someone. And then she came up with this freaking stretcher thing on stage. Now we're going to start reminiscing, y'all, before we get off of here. We still got some time. She came on that, across that stage with that freaking stretcher. I said, oh, she about to put her in there. And then we saw this boy that she picked. I said, oh, she had to pick somebody that she knew she got control over. Child. Yes, a Hawaii tour. When she did that, it was All For You, Hawaii tour. When she put that boy, put that stretcher, he said, oh my gosh, I love you. And Janet was standing there looking like Janet was standing with the long black hair waving down, looked like they gelled her hair out, whatever it was, sweat, all that stuff, that whole black cat suit. I was like, you couldn't tell Janet nothing. And that boy was in the Woo Awakening. And when she performed that song, and that's still one of my top favorite songs for her. Listen, and tell you the truth, the reason why I was in college, I was a choreographer in college. And one of our famous things that we did as a show, I think it was a musical course or yes, Tiana Taylor did it. She did that on Normani. Oh, no, yeah, Normani did it. Normani did that kind of thing. And she did it on Tiana Taylor. I mixed it up. Yeah. Normani did the similar setup. Not to its magnitude of what Jenna did, but something similar. And oh yeah, Would You Mind? I did I choreographed a song to that Would You Mind song in college. And baby, everybody said, Tomac, what you did? What you gave us? Because they were so stunned because I had two females and two guys, and you know they stripped down to their boxes and they did their lingerie thing and they did their dance great. And everybody was like, oh my gosh. And even though if you go to people who went to college with me and they saw that performance, they would say, oh yeah, that was something. I said, turned y'all out here. I turned y'all out in the college setting. But they were still talking about it. They said, oh my gosh. I said, what the hell? I said, yeah. Y'all don't know. I love Janet. So we didn't imitate the same thing. I created my whole little routine of that whole song, start to finish. And so, yes, when she did that thing with that guy on that stage, child, you can tell me nothing. That boy came to himself. She, especially, what was that part? I think she touched him right there, and she got on top over her, and she went down, all that stuff, and he was like, I was like, oh boy. Yes, I crushed their pearls, and I wish they recorded it, because listen, they were shocked. Yeah. They ain't called me the captain of the dance squad. I was the leader of the dance squad for like 2.5 years before I graduated. I had to pass the reins down. But yeah, I have visions when I did my little choreography. We used whips, we used chairs, we used items with props, everything, cheats and everything. So yeah, we use everything. Special effects. And yeah, she did that. So yes, that kind of moments. And she always did that sensual stuff on stage when you remember Velvet Rope Tour when she did Vote Burn and she brought that guy on stage and everything and when to choreographer and she changed her outfit to that and she did whip. When you walk into the room, you just what to do. And when I go to the door, and go to see what feel the things you talk to me. Tell me up, tell me down. Vote Burn, that was the song. And she did that song. I remember that vividly. And she kissed him. all that stuff, and he was happy. I said, "Oh, Janet, kiss our biggest fan." I was like, "Oh snap!" So hey, Opulence, how you doing? Thank you. Yes, she. Listen, one of my other favorite songs. So that's I'm glad. And she supposed to be doing a Black Diamond album that we never got. So, but she did put me like a clip of her new song "Love I Love." So I want to know if they put it on Apple Music yet. And anybody heard the song yet? Did she put the full version out? If y'all saw, if y'all like it or not? Because the clip I heard, it did sound nice. It did sound classic, Janet sound, and it's an upbeat song. So and recent song she made for now. That's around that time. What was it? Oh yeah, Made for Now. She did that in Harlem. I was like, oh, that? I remember when Janet was coming to Harlem around that time because I kind of sworn I saw her and everything. But she made that video in Harlem, and I said, "Made for now, not tomorrow, made for now." With Daddy Yankee and all that stuff. So that was a documentary. I took all 4 parts. So yes, it within 2 hours. So anything I missed that we talk about, or we just reminisce. So my question is, what is your favorite? I know some of y'all will mention. What was your favorite Janet album so far? And if you had to list your top, so more question number one, what's your favorite Janet album? One, and the second question, if you had to list your top 5 songs for Janet, you may have a lot, like I do. If you had to mention your top 5 songs, tell me what your top 5 songs are. And the question was asked on Twitter, and I mentioned mine. Let me read them what I said. Let's see. Let me ask that. Yes. So top 5 songs, y'all. Let's get to it. Because we got like a little bit of time before we get out of here and everything. We still have a lot more time before the panel, so I just made a good much time. But let's talk about Janet, y'all. Let's talk about your favorite album and your top 5 songs. So I mentioned was If. I remember If, y'all. I remember that song when it came out. And I think I remember vividly when she performed it on stage on the Velvet Rope tour. Baby. Yeah, man. If I was a girl and the things I did to you, I'll make you call out my name. Too. If I was your woman, the things I did to you, cause I'm not, and I can't, and I won't, cause if I was your girl, didn't. And I think I did a part of that in my choreography one time. I was like, oh my god, that was so lovely. That choreography, that song was great. In the song, anytime, any place, if I was the girl in Rhythm Nation. All right. If, yes, Rhythm Nations, yeah. I Get So Lonely. I remember I Get So Lonely so vividly. When she did that song and album, I said, yeah, y'all talk about her breasts and everything. She gonna show you something. Now it has her thing. Oh, yeah. I get so lonely. Hey, can't wait. Hey, come on, y'all. I like that. You want the videos too. You want this video too. It's a saying. It was the 90s. Oh, you want this? Okay. Early in the morning, you want this. And in the evening, you want this. Hey, I said if. I said, would you mind? Yeah, I know. I love that song. Baby, would you mind taste me? Cause I wanna feel you, tell you, bless you, say. I love that. I Get So Lonely remix. Oh yes, love. I Get So Lonely remix. Would you mind? The remix was with who? I forgot who was with. It was a famous thing. It was 112, right? Oh, that might be wrong. That remember? Yeah, refresh my memory because I listened to that remix for so long. I always liked the original, but the remix was good too. What about? I don't know what that song "What About" was about. Look, I know what the song is about, but I know who she was referenced to because when Renee proposed to Janet on the beach, right? Uh oh, I remember that song. Okay, yeah, that what it was. Funny how time flies when you have fun. Yeah, maybe want to go to Discord. We could go to Discord and have a listening party and listen to some Janet songs in a minute before the panel. I probably would do that. Or what about? And I would say if that's Blackstreet, yes, that's a Blackstreet. What about Renee? Because I don't think she mentioned that Renee was abusive and everything. Because that song, we walk on the beach in the moonlight night. He held my hand, he kissed me, he said, I want to spend my life with you. And I thought, what about the time you lied to me? What about the time you said you don't want me? What about the chick you done to me? What about that? What about that? She went hard at that song. Y'all need listen. That was on a Velvet Rope tour, Velvet Rope song. When she performed that song, I said, "Oh snap!" I don't know who she was talking about, but it may not be in her personal life, but she went hard in that song, and that was one of my favorite songs. What about that? Yes. What about that? What about that? Remember that part? She said, what about the time you told me you did an effort because she only gave you head? What about that? What about that? I said, oh, you know that was better? Child. Well, I know y'all remember Son of the Gun. Ha ha hoo hoo, don't you give me money to clean it, mother, trying to have it, kick it, get it too. Do. Clouds in my coffee. Clouds in my coffee. Ha ha ha. Y'all remember that? Oh my God. Son of the Gun. That's one of my favorite. I bet you think this song is about you. I bet you think this song is about you. Hey. Y'all remember when she came with that freaking bat and that freaking outfit on with the jeans and the hat? And I said, "Oh, Janet, who you about to beat up? Because you giving something. You giving fashion, and you about to beat somebody behind." And then she walked down the aisle with that bat on her hand. Baby, you can't tell her nothing. I was too young at the time to really get into Janet like that, but now I have to live. Yes, yes. Ha ha hoo hoo, get you the money too, queen of money, kind of had to kick it in it too. Shoulder. Son of the Gun. I said, if what you mind, what about Son of the Gun? And also said What Bun. I have other songs I said, but they said my top 5 songs or 5 favorite songs. I mentioned those my 5 off my top of my head. Won't Burn. Tie me up, tie me down. Make it all of me. All right. Anybody else? Is other people here? Y'all tell me how y'all feel. What's your songs and your favorite album? So I said my favorite Velvet Rope album was my favorite album from her. It's my top 5 songs. Son of the Gun. Doesn't really matter from the Nutty Professor, you know. Doesn't really matter if it's going to. Doesn't really matter. Oh, that. Oh, listen. Jan with her dancing, it was so everything. Everything. One way, me island. Yeah, 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 yeah. Other people always sing. So I guess a lot of people going to mention their songs. So tell me what's your favorite video of her? Let's see, I remember videos. She did a lot of good videos. I can say one of my favorite top videos of her is If. If was my favorite top video. And Dave changed based on the move. Yes, that's what I'm saying. Based on the move, right? I think my favorite top video of her was If, because I enjoyed the dance and everything on that. What else did I remember? I also did like One Way. One Way. I love the Buster video. Oh, what about? Wait, well, Gonna Be. What's it gonna be, right? Yeah. Oh yes, I remember the visualization. What it gonna be? When it gonna be? Ah yes. Speaking of that, I gotta get that song on my album. I didn't get that. Speaking, they can remind me, y'all. Um, I think I got it, but I don't remember if I did got it. Uh, what's the, nope, I ain't download it. Please, people. If I always like One Way, also Rhythm Nation. Those are my top 3 videos of her. And I also Together Again, because I do like the dancing. Together again, my baby. Mm, 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 mm. Mm-hmm. All right. Any other memories I want to talk about Janet before we get out of here? Mm. So with that, let's do that. What's your favorite slow ballad song? What the hell are people talking about? Slow ballad song. Let me see. I think my slow ballad song from her will be. Oh, every time when look at me, every time. Oh wait, I love that I got to live with crime. Yes, I love that I got to. I love that we was able to experience the greatness of them. I love it. And people down these days don't even recognize. That's why I'm glad to hope that this documentary gives insights to the younger ones to able to talk about, to even listen, go back to her albums and listen to it. Okay, we talk about how she stays natural. Listen, Janet always stayed ready. Stay ready. You had to get ready. Listen, I don't remember any bad moment of Janet. Her hairstyles, how she always looked good, always put together. Interviews, her videos, her tours. Anywhere you see her, she always look put together. I said, Dad, do you ever have a bad moment, Janet? It's like, she always, yes. Body always stay her body right. She always exercise, work hard, keep her body together. That's what people were trying to say, that it was very hard for her to carry. Yes, we know at 50 years old it might be hard for her to carry a baby, but she kept herself healthy. Everything. She has a healthy baby boy, so there's no complications. So discipline. The hairstyles, the iconic moments, the fashion she gave us, the sexiness after all these years. I think when she elevated her sexual era, that's what her mark throughout the whole years from with and everything. Until she started cover up with that recent little thing. I said, "Oh, now husband got you cover up." That's not the gender we like. But even though we still like the, we like the gender that like to show skin and stuff. Uh-uh. But yeah, she always stays snatched. Always. Shoot. I remember that scene when she showed her look with the control ever look. I said with the hair, one hair banging the eyes over there like that. I said, ooh, y'all slayed that hairstyle. Stick where? Yeah. But yeah, Twitter's funny. They said, listen, we never go forget JT. They said, listen, we don't care about Jay Ray Dupree, why he did that to her. And that's it. Oh, yes, the accolades of people who talked in this movie. If I miss anybody, y'all let me know, because I think I miss a lot of people. So we had Sierra. Sierra talk about, we all know Sierra's heavily influenced by Janet Jackson. So, Sierra talked. Excellent, Big Fine. Oh yeah, I remember him. Yes, she covered up a little bit. Yeah, she covered up. What the hell was that? That's Exorcist going on over here. What the hell was that? Sierra, Missy Elliott talked. Whoopi Goldberg, Samuel L. Jackson, Regina King, Tiana Taylor, Randy Jackson, Tito Jackson, Levy Jackson, James DeBarge, Renee Elizondo. Elizondo. We know that Tina talked as well. Tina Linden. What's her name? Tina Landon talked. We also met Amira Carey said something. Her director, her creative director, Eli. That's his name? No, Gil. Jill. Oh my gosh, Gil. He said something. What else? David, her biographer. He spoke out. Oh, yeah, I asked this question last time, but some of y'all might tell me. Why Toya didn't say nothing? What's going on? Did Janet and Toya don't really talk like that anymore? Because I want to know why she wasn't in it. Because we know Tito talk. We know Vivi talk. Randy talk. And I know if Michael's still alive, he probably would have been there talking. But why Toya was not around? It was some beef. What's the fallout? Y'all let me know because I don't remember. Because I asked that last night and I said I had no idea why she wasn't speaking. Let me see. Anybody know? What Renee DeBarge said? No, Renee DeBarge. No, you talking about James DeBarge? Oh, you mixed both of them. No, Renee and James, they really say nothing bad about Janet. They just talk about the experience with her, and they ain't really had anything bad about her. Renee would talk about how he was interacting, how he was with Janet at the time, that he was there with her, and she was an icon, and he helped her and all stuff. He ain't say anything bad, and James also said that he ain't say anything bad against Janet either. Yes, because we know that James DeBarge got children now. That I think he's remarried and everything. But at the time, he did realize that yes, he was heavily on that drugs at the time. It was crazy. It was messed up. He talked about his experience about how he worked with Janet and how the family met him and stuff like that. How they had a secret marriage. So they basically would talk about the recollection of the documentary that she was speaking on. But they didn't really say anything bad about her. That's why he may have age time, but they didn't want to be seen. I don't know. That's what I said. Kind of weird that because I mainly know Toya. I never really see VB like that, so I was like, it was weird that we saw mainly VB talking a lot, which is great, but we didn't get to see Toya say anything. So I don't know. It was because people were saying on Twitter that it was something going on between those two, and that's why Toya didn't want to say nothing because Toya will be mentioned like that. The family will be walking with her like that. I was like, what the hell going on? I said, I don't know. It was that much. I don't think they was not speaking like that. It's so many DeBarges, I might be confused. Whose daughter is married to that comedian Finesse? Oh, I don't know that. Let me check that out. Anybody know that answer? Who is married to Finesse? Address DeBarge. Who's Address? El DeBarge. That's one of the brothers, El DeBarge. She is executive. I don't know what that is. See, I don't really know the DeBarge family like that, so. But her name, who married to Finesse, is Adris DeBarge. They had a sister. I don't know they had a sister. Let me see. Her father is El DeBarge, I guess, but that's it. Yeah, so El DeBarge's daughter, I think, married to Finesse right now. All right, so yes, further ado, I think I might jump over to Discord a little bit and listen to some Janet music and stuff like that, and eat as well before the panel. So, if any other comments, let me see. Yes, one I think, but I don't know her name. Yes, her name is Adris DeBarge, and she's the daughter of El DeBarge, who's married to Finesse, the one you're talking about. And so tomorrow, catch a view of Johnson Cabaret. Oh, they love fame for real, right? So tomorrow, catch Johnson Cabaret review episode 3 on Auntie Momo's channel. It will be this past last Monday was on mine. This one gonna be on hers. We alternate. And tonight, after the panel, we'll get on and watch Cabaret and Power. And that's it. I was gonna watch Power earlier today, but I said I'd rather say that tonight because most people come on tonight. So Power and Cabaret, and this tomorrow we do a review on Cabaret. And Thursday, catch my video, and I might do another Are You Serious video this week. We'll see, depends. This week, also, if any topics y'all want to share with me, so we can talk about next week Sunday, which will be Mr. Social Corner. Y'all DM me topics on Twitter, Instagram, or Discord. And throughout the week, I do like random watch alongs on Discord. It's hard for me to promote it and announce it ahead of time because I have to wait till the streaming service come on TV and on the computer and everything. Oh, it's all right. We trust that on stuff like that. So if you're not subscribed to my Discord, it's on the description box. Get the description Discord link. Click on that. I'm about to jump ship on Discord a little bit and listen to some music and probably watch some old time videos of Janet because I'm in my mood. So when you're in the mood, you just got with the flow. And I'm gonna go get something to eat and come back and go on Discord. So if y'all want to join me, y'all can, and so like that, and we can reminisce and talk about some of the stuff even more, or sing to the songs and vibe. All right, and that's it. So any topics, make sure you hit me up. And y'all know we always go to communicate throughout the week. So watching on tonight. Everything. I appreciate everyone who came to my live tonight. It was good. We talk about Janet. We have reminisce and everything. And people who coming back for replay, let me know. What's your favorite Janet album? What's your top songs of Janet? and everything. What's your favorite moment of her? Put it in the description, comment section down below. I will respond back. We can reminisce and talk about her even more because I appreciate that she gave us a documentary because she's always been a private person, and it was time for her to give her speech and give her viewpoint, and I'm glad she did, and it's a lot of stuff that I learned from her because she was able to speak her piece. So that's it. Without further ado, if you have anything else to say, appreciate y'all. Love y'all. We will be on panel on Timon panel. She got different topics and everything tonight, so we get ready to talk about it because we always have a good time. Thank you, Oculus Prime, Twitter people. Thank you for watching. I do appreciate streaming to Twitter too because it seems like y'all giving me a lot of love there, and some of y'all coming over to subscribe. Timon, Oculus Prime, CM. Thank you so much. Thank you, Dominique. Thank you, J Rudolph, JW, Toy. And thank you everyone who's not responding, but y'all is watching my stream. Love y'all. Jessica later. I am not night owl, but I'm trying to hang. All right, I hear that. Sure, I hear that. Sure, no power is everything. So I won't get any of y'all, but if y'all jump ship to me on Discord, and I'll go listen to some music and watch some kind of old past Janet videos and just reminisce some things and talk about it until the panel. All right, so hope y'all have a great night or enjoy the rest of the week, and I'll see y'all later. All right, peace out. Love y'all. All right, y'all. Peace out.